The moment of truth is actually quite exciting, to be honest.
MCU, general failure. Yeah, we need to lift it on the jack.
I guess you put it together in, how many hours did it take?
35 minutes.
The reason why the bike is propped up in the front.
Yeah, got it.
I am back in Stephan's garage, and behind me is the 1290 Super Adventure S and the engine that we took out a few months ago. We picked up the engine from FP Engineering. They did an entire rebuild, replaced some of the parts, put it on a test stand, and now the engine is back and it needs to go back into the bike. It took us a good 4 hours to take the engine out. It's probably going to take at least twice the time to put it back in. There's a lot of parts that are sitting here in a box. So we'll take you through the step-by-step what it's like to put an engine back into a KTM 1290 Super Adventure S. It's a sad looking bike.
Yeah, we need to lift it on the jack.
Okay.
Okay.
These are all the parts that came off during disassembly. Wow. So there are a lot of loose cables, and so the axle that holds the engine in place, that also mounts the rear swing arm, that's in there, that needs to come out again. This one's has silver pieces here. This is where the engine mounts in the front. I think we lifted the bike frame a little bit to get it underneath.
Oh, we took these ones off as well, correct?
Yeah. So last time I needed my help to just move the frame up a bit.
Yeah.
So we get that.
That's good, good. All three. So this is a bloody canister. And then I think we need to concentrate on here.
On the rear axle, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Woo.
Das war der erste. Okay. Difficulty was to align the engine with the axle.
We're not going to tie it to the spec because we still need to do the front bit. Okay. One here, one there, one there. I start connecting it already because we probably later miss it if we don't do it straight away. One here. Oh, this one goes behind this one. Hopefully we never take the engine out again.
Not on this bike.
No.
So there's a manual, the shop manual, that actually gives you detailed instructions on how to install the engine once you've taken it out. So that's what Stephan has on his iPhone. So it's a step-by-step instruction how to do it. But at the moment what we've done is mechanically mount the engine back into the frame. There's a big axle and a bunch of screws that go in, so mechanically it's now fixed and mounted. The only thing that we attached so far are the hoses to the radiator, the two connections on each side. Those were the last things that we took off before we lowered the engine, when we took the engine out. And once that's done, it's all the cabling and the manifold of the injection manifold and stuff like that. So the next thing that goes on is just the mounting bracket for the splash guard that sits on the 1290 Super Adventure S models. So the next thing the manual says is to properly mount the hoses of the coolant system. The two on each side, so we already put them on there, you just have to tighten the clamps now. So on each side there's two of those.
And here, I think you have here a sign where the T is that says where to position the screw.
So next piece is the shift lever gear shifter.
Header pipe gaskets.
Header pipe gaskets. Exactly. So that's the old one coming off.
Same. Looks like it.
In orientation.
Yeah.
Coming off.
Perfect. Okay.
Easy.
That's
Looking
done.
good.
We have the bigger screen. And here we see under engine and German motor, they have taking the motor out of the bike or putting the engine in. And then we go through the steps, and we've been somewhere here. Sprocket. Yeah, we will not put on the sprocket yet because I wait for new chain guard, and we put a new chain kit on it. So we jump this part. It goes somewhere in here. And then maybe here they come. Remember it. Okay. Spaghetti.
The cable tree. The tree of life.
Oh, this is the other side, I think. So we put this one here maybe back in place as well. We think we figured it out. So the whole thing is somehow like this, mounted to the, so one thing goes to the front and one side goes to the left. And on here we have this mount which we
Kind of props in right into the side, so it's just
exactly here. Yeah.
basically it goes in here into the silver thing from the other side.
Done.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, that looks like ground on the outside. Oh yeah, so we have two grounds. So one cable goes down here
To this one.
to this one.
So we figured out the riddle with the cables for the starter engine. The red plus cable is actually mounting straight to the screw that's up here. It's uncovered still. I'm sure there's something that sits on top of it that goes right there. And there's two minus cables. One that goes here, and there's another one that mounts in front of it. So these are the two sort of minus cables side by side.
Ja, ich mach einfach.
Okay. Let's see the sensor.
I just need to know where the bolt. Ah, it's on the engine actually. It's on here.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
It's all easy. Piece of cake.
This sensor tells the bike, because of the automatic height adjustment, so when you load the bike, it levels itself up again. Everyone will say we are cheating, but I just take a look at the other bike.
That's actually a good idea. So Stephan's checking out the...
Yeah, it goes exactly like we have it now.
That's always good to have a template to work off. So we have two cables that came up that were just zip tied. These are basically the end parts of that. And they will fit somewhere into the top assembly here. To be honest, it looks like a big old mess. But so far...
You have, because you have an inner spark plug, a big one, and a smaller for the outside, and they have two different heads, so you can't mix it up. Inner plug for the inner spark plug. and click, and then we have here also like a place where it should stay.
It's a bit of a puzzle.
Yeah.
So who needs the manual if you got the work there?
So there are 4 cables coming from different locations from the bottom, and they end up here as, so this is a part where like 5 connections actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's a big one. And
it's 10:45 at night. Let's see if we get this thing started sometime past midnight.
The cables from the different parts, and then you have the opposite side out of the main harness here.
And they're specifically shaped, so you shouldn't be able to
you can't
get this wrong. Okay, there's one. So these are the 2 cables that came sort of from the bottom of the engine.
Here's a different one.
And then there's the counterpart to it.
So I've done this a couple of times because you have to undo them when you do the valve check.
So basically this is the side stand mounting plate that is attaching to the engine body. It's Loctite, 25 Newton meters of torque. That's where it goes. And it does have a cable attached to it. That's the sensor for the side stand. So if the side stands down and the gear's in, the engine will shut off.
Difference between loop and no loop.
Excellent.
Like this. Actually, it's still a bit bent on the same spots.
It makes it easier to know where it goes. Yeah. At the moment, we're about, I would say, maybe a third away into putting the engine back in. And in the beginning, the hardest part was just getting sort of the engine physically mounted, mechanically mounted. And now, of course, it's just connecting all the hoses and cables. And somehow it's a bit easier than I thought it would be, because once you know where the cables are and everything falls in place, they're kind of pre-bent, so it kind of helps you to find where the cables are located. And also then the plugs, they're not all the same plugs, so it's really difficult to plug the cables into the wrong plug. They are in the same vicinity, they're sometimes color-coded, so it makes it a bit easier to find where stuff goes. And of course you have the manual, the shop manual is really helpful. It's got good sort of illustrations, so you know where to put the cables and where to route them alongside the engine. So far so good. I'm not gonna jinx it, but at the moment it's coming along quite well. So now Stephan just found the cables that need to connect to the side stand sensor, and there's another cable that goes, where does it go? We don't know, but it's a good way to look at the plugs and the sizes to find the counterpart. So it's a bit of a puzzle, more than anything. And he's now trying to fiddle the right cables through the frame, and then they connect basically where the clutch cylinder goes, sort of on that height. So basically somewhere here, this is where they connect. And click, one more, and there's another one, and they will then be sort of hidden behind a little cover.
Still see where they were bent before. So it's somehow folded like this.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually when we took the
it's folded like this.
Out, and it's
somewhere
squeezed
here
behind the cover.
And same with the other one. It's somehow a bit folded like these.
Oh yeah, that's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Maybe, yeah.
So now we're looking for the oil
this one?
level sensor. That's the one, okay.
Or temperature.
Or temperature, one of those sensors.
Click.
And there's the blue one.
And this is the crankshaft position, a crankshaft turning. What was the Drehzahl sensor?
Oh, that's the RPM sensor.
for the crankshaft.
Okay.
Click. Cable tie here, I think, like this. Yeah, looks alright.
Just like in the illustration. Got the generator cable, so that's the plug, and it needs to go in here. And it just needs to be routed through the frame.
Quite straightforward, because you do it with a valve clearance. You need to unplug them as well. So it's this one. Is it this one?
So that's the spark plugs connecting to the ignition coil.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the wrong one. 1 second. 1 second. So the white one goes on the outer. That's here. Yeah, I see it.
Geht nah ran.
Here on the outer
Okay.
ignition coil. Click.
Okay, that's where it goes.
Yeah. Other side. Yeah. Other wrong way around.
Okay.
So they also have. So one side has different noses on different spots. So you can't mix it up as well. So this is a SLS system here. This makes sure that when you get off the throttle, some valves open and you have an afterburning of the fuel. And we take a look where this. I think it's here. No. Here. No. Hier, der große. This one. Click.
There's a couple of hose connections that go to the top of the cylinder head. And it's kind of easy to see where they go.
Like this. We connect the plug of the oil pressure
Switch or something,
yeah.
Sensor.
Something like it. So this is kind of, yeah, could be this one. It's interesting how they already in an area, laying around in the area where they somewhere connecting. And here we have like a groove where this one goes in, I think.
Okay, perfect.
And then maybe this
There's two
one.
of those, right? There's
Yeah,
one on each
seems,
side.
Seems like it. So one
Okay,
side.
there's one here.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one.
That's the
Click.
one for
Sounds
the back
good.
one. Oliver just found the right one. They look similar, but they don't fit. So if they don't fit, then you need to look for a different one. And Oliver found it.
Yeah, that's a bit fiddly.
Yeah, now
there
we
you
got
go.
it.
Let's hear the click.
Click.
So this is the oil filler opening. Found a few more connections, cables. But I'll actually look into the manual, just see what's left over and what fits. So these guys, basically, it's the air intake.
Left side.
Okay, that's
And
good.
also here's drainage, so when water enters from the top, when you drive in rain, runs down here and should go out here. So this needs to be at the bottom.
We have a bigger piece. This is the intake valve assembly. Looks nice and clean.
It's good for
Looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks like brand new.
63,000 kilometers. Here, these are the you see really thin, small holes.
Yeah.
So that's why you have the filters. And if you get dirt in the fuel, or you wouldn't have the filters, they get blocked so easily and the bike doesn't run anymore. Just coat it, so it just helps to get it on. You don't want to have... The top ones are still tight. We didn't need it to touch them. We just loosened the back ones up, but here you have the stopper so you can reach the screws from the outside. The professional engine shop closed up the intakes because you don't want to have any stuff going in there. Oh!
Wow.
Very secure. Oop. Pressure hose for the fuel later, so we push this down a bit and we... Oh, maybe we mount it now as well. Yeah. So first thing, we connect the fuel pressure hose. It should click in there. And then you already have a cable here. This goes in here. And then we get this thing down again. Okay. So this is thing now in the correct position. Everything is out of the way. And then just wiggle some loop and some gentle wiggle. Now it's on. And then this connection for the front. Click.
So this is a bit fiddly to try to find those screws. So that's the throttle valve sensor.
Yeah, that's it. 2 more cables, which I don't know yet.
The puzzle goes on. But considering how intimidating it looked when we started,
too easy.
we found most of them now. We have 2 more that were unaccounted for. It's probably position sensors, right?
Maybe, but this is not clicking in place.
Is it not?
Uh-oh.
Okay. So it's basically this cable here, the white one I'm looking at, and there is a connection point here. So our guess is these go right here. We figured out what these cables are. They actually are not up here. They will be routed down to definitely one of them is fuel pump, and the other one is probably something else related to the fuel tank.
I think it's fan.
Ah, okay, perfect. So one is the fan and the other one is the fuel pump then.
And here you have, pay attention, you have sealing rings in here. I put in grease. I like the grease, and they prevent that they falling off. You don't have to remove the fuel tank anymore to just change the air filter. So
no, you just take the whole engine out and then...
Yeah, that's the way. Now, on top of this, you have the compartment for the mobile phone. And you just take this one then out and then... One slider like this, and then one like this. Take the good...
Beautiful, nice and clean.
So if it doesn't fit, you're not in the groove. Click and it's you see this rubber thing, the holder on here stays like this, and you need to put it on here.
Oh, that's a little...
Yeah. And hopefully that you get it in here. Yeah, I feel it. Okay, done. And
there's the hose connection.
Yeah. Get it in here.
I would say we're probably 2/3 through putting the engine back in, so some of the major parts are already finished. Most of the electrical connections are made. We're about halfway done with the airbox that is installed. It looks pretty good. There's still a bunch of screws left on parts, but most of them are just sort of covers, you know, from the bikes or the side panels and things like that. But I am very surprised how fast we were putting it together. It is kind of late. I think it's almost, what is it? It's definitely past midnight, so we've been here for a little while. We had a little steak break in the middle. Had something to eat and then came back to the shop.
12:30.
12:30, yes. So we still have, well, we still have some energy left. We'll keep going for a little bit.
Goes in here.
This is already very familiar territory for Stephan because he's done the valve service a few times. So all the steps that are now remaining is something you have to do for the valve service. So take the airbox off. You take the entire valve assembly off.
Click. Goes in the groove here. Yeah. Just do it gently by hand.
The reason why the bike is propped up in the front is we need to fill in the coolant, and the coolant, in order for all the air bubbles to go out, the manual says to lift up the front end at least 50 centimeters off the ground. Stephan just bought a big trailer, and these are the things that just mount typically the front wheel, so it's somewhat stable. The bleed valve that for the air to come out. It's a bleed valve.
Sorry guys.
The good Motul stuff. Excellent. Is that ready mix?
Ready, steady,
mix.
go.
So you just like put it in like that. Okay. No valve to get the air out.
Oh.
I know. I remember now that we took that screw out.
We removed this one when we needed to get all the stuff out. Yeah.
And then
hear it hissing already.
So the whole point is then you top it up until there's liquid coming out. Oh yeah, that's good. Liquid is coming out. That's a good sign. Give me some. So there are two screws on the side of the engine case that need to be opened when you fill the coolant. That's what we did. And there's already coolant in the radiators. So we open them up both sides and there's coolant coming out, and all the air that was in there also came out. So now it's just filling up the radiator. Oh ja, drüben läuft's auch aus der Spitze. Guck mal hier.
Ah, super.
Hier.
Perfect.
So it's coming out on this side too, which is perfect. That means it's like all the way to the top. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. We're making good progress, and the next piece that's going on the bike after we refilled the radiator with coolant is the manifold, exhaust manifold that's going in right now.
The manual that we do them by hand, gently, not tight one yet.
That little lambda sensor, the cable's coming out here, and this is where it needs to go.
Okay.
Oh yeah, fits perfectly.
So in here you got this rubber damping element, or what it is, and you put in these metal things, and then we use this one, manifold gasket, 50 mil. So. Yeah, I got it.
Good.
That's it.
That's it. We found the right connection to the front lambda sensor.
Only found it.
Yeah. Just needs to connect. Stephan is connecting the two pieces of the manifold. For the middle lambda sensor, this is the plug, and it goes in here. And then there's the third one in the very back, and that goes in this one here. We're getting close to the end. It looks like we may be able to start the bike today. And it's just connecting it to the manifold, and there's another screw that holds it up on the frame. Final piece of the puzzle, tank's gonna get back on.
And you see the white things on here?
Yeah.
These go on these
On these little
rubber things. So that's a bit tricky, but and it's good when the tank is full, like it is now.
Is it on there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I do a mistake here. This one, the board needs to be out of the way, like this. And then we check the other side for the rubber. And this is nearly in. It just needs to be. Yeah, then this goes to the left side. This is just for the fuel fumes. It's going in here.
The quick release fuel connector to the tank. It's that green connector that goes in.
You have the electric connection for the fuel pump, because it's not running without it.
So last minute checks. We don't have a chain or a sprocket on yet, and so either way we'll have to put it into neutral. Nee, das ist ja albern. Du musst dann vorne am Dings drehen. Die Kette ist ja nicht drauf.
Das ist die Uhrzeit, ne?
Ja. Ja. Okay. So I'm gonna do. See if it starts up.
Oh, it wants to set everything, so you just go return.
Set anything.
That looks good. We have got oil in it. MCU, general failure.
Oops.
Ah, I know what we forgot.
What did you forget?
The plug on the right side. You can do it. Come around.
Okay, let's turn it off again.
Yeah.
I think somewhere here. Oh, there it is.
This thing. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's one more plug that needs to go in. It's only one. It's the last one. I'm sure we didn't forget anything else. Let's check it out. Yeah, at least I got my hands dirty this time, which is nice. Okay, let's do it again. Let's see electronics, if it works. No error messages.
MCU, general failure, fuel cell vent. No, it's on. Let's see. So it got fuel. Let's start it again.
And just turn it off, right?
Turn it on, off again.
Give it a minute.
No mistakes.
Oh, let's wait. Looking good, right?
Yes.
Let's fire it up. Wow, the moment of truth is actually quite exciting, to be honest. It's late. It's probably 3 o'clock in the morning now. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go. Excellent. Cheers. Wow. Wow. Kill switch pressed.
Yeah, that was me.
Geil. It is 3:15 in the morning, and it's crazy. We actually were able to put it all together, and it runs. I'm still baffled by that. It's quite amazing. So I guess we put it together in, how many hours did it take?
35 minutes.
Nothing short of 35 minutes. So it's crazy. It runs. Well-deserved beer. And I think we're going to call it tonight and then put the rest together tomorrow morning.